Hey, didn't you hear me, you mangy mutt? I told you to subscribe to Dragonball.
Subscribe. It is Doraball here, and we are here with another video, and I am going to be reacting to Totally Not Mark's Son Goku, the misunderstood character. I've seen this a while back, so I already have like an idea what it was about, and I've had people recommend me to critique it. So it's not really like a first reaction, it's just like a critique. And so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it.
On December 3rd, 1984, Dragon Ball's Son Goku was introduced to the public, and over the last 35 years has become one of the most recognizable and prolific characters of the modern age. From TV shows to commercials to blockbuster movies, from video games to parades to being the mascot for the 2020 Olympic Games. You would assume for one to accrue such incredible success, said character would need to be widely accepted as a good one, or at least a well-written one. However, nowadays, there's a strongly held belief that if a character doesn't develop or grow from an experience, then that character in question is a poorly written one. Therefore, to test this theory, a while back I posted a poll on my Twitter asking the question.
That's what I hate. Why does everyone think if a character doesn't change, that means the character is badly written? That doesn't make the character bad. You know, the Straw Hats in One Piece, they don't really change. They change a little bit, but not that much. But the thing that makes them well written is that they have a lot of layers to them and they're well fleshed out. A character can change, but that doesn't make the character that good, well written wise, writing wise. Yeah, so there's many ways to write a good character. It can be changing, staying the same, changing a tiny bit, many ways. So yeah, and this doesn't apply to Goku because Goku does change a lot, and I know this video is about Goku not changing. So yeah, let's unpause it.
If given the choice between Goku and Vegeta, who do you prefer and why? And while it was close, with over 4,000 votes cast, Vegeta won, with the majority of people who voted for Vegeta bolstering their choice by arguing Vegeta has grown and changed a considerable amount over his character arc. Goku has no arc. He remains the same. While most of this statement is technically correct, this led me to believe that on a fundamental narrative level, the character of Son Goku is deeply misunderstood by an enormous portion of
He does change, he changes a lot.
Goku does have a character arc. He is a terrific example of what writers call the flat character arc. In 2016, K.M. Weiland published a book called Creating Character.
How can you read Dragon Ball from Pilaf to Boo and say he doesn't change? He changes a lot. The way he treats villains, accepting his Saiyan heritage, growing as a father, his morality. His morality changed throughout the whole series, with him struggling to defeat villains because of his soft heart that he gained with Kami, and because of his Saiyan blood wanting a rival. And we saw that with Piccolo and Vegeta, where he spared them because of his Saiyan blood. And then, yeah, I broke all this down in my Goku analysis. I'll link it right there. And, he changes a lot. And then in the last fight with Kid Buu, that's when he comes full circle with his morality that he wants to fight Buu again one day. He realizes he wants to fight Buu again one day, so he spares him. But he asks Buu to come back as a good person, so he's not a threat to the Earth. All the people that he spared before were a threat to the Earth. So he comes full circle with his morality. And he changes a lot. He matures a lot. Like I said, he's not a flat character. And there's nothing wrong with flat characters as long as they have lots of layers and depth and they're well fleshed out. That's good writing, but Goku is not a flat character. Yeah, let me unpause this.
Character arcs, in which she describes 3 character arc methods. The positive character arc. This is the most common character arc found in fiction, where the character undergoes a positive change. The negative character arc, where the character undergoes a negative change. And finally, the flat character arc, which we will be discussing in this video. In order to make sense of the flat character arc, it's important to understand the most common arc in storytelling first, the positive character arc.
Like, how can you read the manga from Peel Off the Boo and say that Goku hasn't changed at all?
Specific lie they hold to be true. Weiland calls this script writing trope the lie the character believes. A wonderful example of this positive character arc is observed with the character of Vegeta. For his entire existence, Vegeta has been someone who believed that power was the only important thing in life.
I hope he doesn't believe there's only 3 ways to write characters, like 3 different character arcs. Because he just named 3, the flat, negative, and the positive. There's more, and there's no limits to writing. Because if there's a video by Maname Matt, I believe, and he made it on Toradora and the Toradora characters and how they develop backwards, that's a different way of writing characters. That isn't one of these 3 options. So I hope he doesn't believe that there's only 3 ways to write characters, because there is no limits to writing. As long as it makes sense and it flows well, it's good writing and creative. But yeah, let's get back into this.
And to pursue anything else would be a fool's errand. This was the lie Vegeta believed. And throughout his life, this lie was reinforced by the world around him. Through pursuing this end, Vegeta sacrifices everything to achieve his goal. It's his belief in this lie that leads him to die on planet Namek. When faced with the reality his choices have led him to, he crumbles and ultimately falls. Vegeta's lie was that he believed the only value to be found in life was through the pursuit of power, and his arc was about the journey he took in order to overcome this lie and to embrace what was actually true, to find value in those he loved. And in that moment, the viewer and Vegeta share a much-needed catharsis. As Weiland writes, the positive character arc is about the lie the character believes, which he will spend the entire journey overcoming. However, unlike the positive character arc, which tells the story based on a lie the character believes, the flat character arc is about the truth the character believes. In the flat character arc, the protagonist already has a handle on what the truth is, and he will use that truth to overcome the challenges of the plot, and probably to transform a lie-burdened world. One of the defining features of the flat arc is that the character begins his journey already believing in a certain truth. Son Goku is an enthusiastic, innocent, and motivated person who believes that he can always be better today than he is tomorrow. And not in a diminishing or deprecating way, he thrives on knowing he can be better tomorrow than he is today. And these ideals have not changed since he was first introduced to us in the mid-80s. To help prove that I'm not making these points up, here are some other characters that fit this mold too. Forrest Gump is an honest, compassionate, and determined individual who wants to find and be with the person he loves, Jenny. And from the beginning of the film to the end, his outlook on life never falters.
He changes,
like, famous quote,
how can you, I guess, like I said, how can you read it and say he doesn't change?
Indiana Jones is a determined and courageous man who believes in doing what is right. From the outset, these are what his ideals are, and what makes his story compelling isn't how he changes, but how the world around him reacts to these characteristics he possesses. Saitama is an infinitely powerful but otherwise ordinary guy with strong morals and ideals for what he thinks a hero should be. Bored by conventional crime fighting, he yearns for the thrill of a real challenge. And despite never actually getting that, his personality and ideals don't waver. He is human, but he is also a real hero. What I find personally interesting about all of these characters is none of them are really praised or remembered for being great characters. Instead, people will often say Forrest Gump is an amazing movie, or that One Punch Man was a great TV series. However, a fundamental difference between Forrest Gump and One Punch Man is that one is a movie and the other is a television show. Rarely will you see someone say that the character Forrest Gump is a bad one, but people will flat out dismiss One Punch Man on its main character's very premise alone. Partially, I think the length of a TV series versus a movie plays a large factor here. People expect and desire a TV show's characters to grow and develop over the series in order to justify its long length. Specific emphasis is put on shows like Dragon Ball, Naruto, or One Piece because their theme is centered around self-improvement. Whereas in a film, it's not as noticeable if their characters don't develop over the course of its runtime. If we look closely at the character of Son Goku, we observe from the very beginning of the show, his character is fundamentally at odds with the story and world around him. This is a writing technique specifically used for characters that utilize a flat arc. And so while Goku himself believes the truth from the outset, pretty much all those he interacts with believes a lie. And the intrigue for the journey comes from Goku's sensibilities changing the world around him for the better. For example,
No. Okay, so Goku somewhat does change the world around him, you know. Gohan's character arc happens because of Goku. Vegeta's character arc happens because of Goku. He does change the world around him, but that's not like him as a core. That's not like his core as a character. That is not Goku. He's not like some Mary Sue just walking around changing everyone. That is nowhere near Goku. That's Goku in the English dub, but in the manga from Pilaf to Boo and in the sub version, Goku is not like that. Yeah, he changed the world around him somewhat, but that's not like his core as a character. So, because Goku goes through a lot of changes, as I said already. This is wrong. Like, have you read the manga? If you haven't, that's fine, but don't lie about a character, because that's not right. Like, you're spreading false info about one of the most famous characters in all of fiction. There's already a lot of lies about Goku, stigmas, misconceptions. It's like so many people think so many different things about Goku now, because there's so many, like I said, stigmas, misconceptions, lies, the English dub, Viz's translation of the manga, which is still good, but it's not 100% correct, but it's a lot more correct than the English dub. So, yeah, Goku somewhat does change the world around him, but that's not him as a core, at his core of his character. So yeah, let's go ahead. Keep playing.
Or if you want an even earlier example, here's this. Despite Master Roshi having taken a considerable amount of his life to perfect the Kamehameha, Goku managed to learn it with relative ease. However, the most noticeable example of Goku changing the world around him using the truth he has is right here. On top of changing the world around him, he also changes the supporting cast for the better too. Characters like Master Roshi are now retired because Goku is now the new savior of the Earth. Characters like Tenshinhan, Piccolo, and Vegeta have changed from bad to good because of his actions. The reason why Goku remains the focus of Dragon Ball is due to one simple fact. Goku is Dragon Ball. Everything that happens in Dragon Ball is due to this character.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
It can't be any other way. So let me explain why.
That is true. Goku is Dragon Ball. It's his story, but it's not his story about how he changes people. That's nowhere been the story of Dragon Ball. It's not about him changing the world. He does, like I said, he does change the world around him somewhat, like Vegeta, Goku, some of Piccolo, but Piccolo mainly changed because of Gohan, you know, Tien, all these people. But that's not what it's mainly about. That's one of the many things. You know, it's also about Goku learning about where he came from. After 200 chapters, almost 200 chapters, Goku finds out he's an alien, and an alien species that loves to fight, and it takes him 2 whole arcs to accept his Saiyan heritage, and the way he treats villains changes. I already went over this already. But Goku is Dragon Ball, but not for this reason alone. It's not. This Dragon Ball story is not It's just about Goku changing people. That's not what it's about. But anyways, let's go ahead and press play again.
Why? Goku's character is ideal for a long-running show because unlike Vegeta and Piccolo, his
It
arc
can't be any
doesn't
other way
have an
because
expiry date.
Goku
Vegeta's character was
changed.
praised in its climax, but because the show wanted to continue, his development had to be altered and slightly retconned at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, during which they had to repeat certain key scenes to invoke a similar reaction from the fan base. The same can be said for Piccolo, jumping in front of Gohan blocking a blast during the Resurrection F arc. It's just not the same, because as the show reflects, his time in the sun is over. On a much more real level, Gohan's story is absolutely over. It ended at Cell. That was the coming of age moment and nothing he can do will ever top that, unless they drastically revamp, reinvent, or retcon his character. But unlike Vegeta, Piccolo, and Gohan, Goku is not restricted
Well,
by
in the
such
Buu arc,
conventions
we
due
got to
the
see how he
nature
really
of
is.
his story arc.
He isn't a
Because
fighter.
Goku doesn't need to change or grow from an experience. The intrigue when he interacts with a character or situation comes from how the world or that character reacts to Goku. So
Oh
technically,
my gosh.
Goku and
He
characters
already
like
changed
Goku
so
that
much.
implement the flat arc have as much intrigue as the world around them does. And as I'm sure many writers would tell you, it's much easier to create interesting tasks and worlds for Goku to explore than it would be for someone to write another way for Vegeta to swallow his pride and for us to care about it. The point that I'm trying to make here is, despite his unwavering sensibilities, Goku has remained engaging throughout. Specifically when he is written by Akira Toriyama, who understood that the character of Goku needed to have a flat arc if he wanted to have the flexibility to write a week-to-week manga chapter. Goku is a flexible, engaging character because he utilizes the flat character arc. And that is why this particular arc has value. And so, with the stigma nowadays claiming that Goku is a boring character because he has no personal development, I feel compelled to say, no. That's not a fair assessment at all. On top of the positive character arc being the most common arc in character writing and one of the most noticeable, it also seems to be the only one given any spotlight at all. Rarely does someone talk about a negative character arc, which would be observed with characters like Light Yagami from Death Note, or even Zamasu from Dragon Ball Super. This is when a character goes from a good or benign standing to that of a villain or changes for the worse. Even a flat arc like Goku's can be subdivided into categories. Goku is a positive flat arc, and an example of a negative flat arc can be observed with characters like Frieza, who are evil to the core, unwavering, manipulating the world around them instead of the world changing them. This is part of the reason why Frieza and Goku's interactions are so compelling, because they are both steadfast in their beliefs. I am certainly not trying to claim that one character arc is superior to the other, but merely pointing out certain advantages the flat arc might have over the others because of its design. So, just to reiterate, Dragon Ball cannot be Dragon Ball without Goku. And while wonderful characters like Piccolo and Vegeta are thrilling and fun to watch, I think it's important to acknowledge that Goku's character has value too, but in a vastly different way. I hope that having listened to this video that some of you out there might have found and uncovered a new appreciation for his character. I hope that you can look at character arcs in a different way now, and I hope that someday Son Goku won't be considered
it with this video.
character. Thank you for watching.
Not much to critique. Like I said, I already critiqued it throughout the video. All this guy was saying is Goku, he's a flat character, he doesn't change. He changes the world around him. And like I said, he somewhat changes the world around him, but that's not his core of his character. He changes a lot. He learns more about the world. He learns how to deal with losses in the martial arts in the original Dragon Ball. The way he treats villains changes. Him accepting his Saiyan heritage. Him growing as a father. His morality. He changes a lot. He changes throughout the whole series. So this video did not get Goku's character right. And yeah, I'm slightly disappointed. I don't know if this guy's read the manga. It doesn't seem like it. Like I said, there's no way you can read the manga from Pilaf to Buu and say that Goku has never changed. Like, The whole part of the Saiyan and Frieza saga was about nature versus nurture, and how Goku accepts his nature and he blends it with his nurture. He accepts his Saiyan nature. So, yeah. He changes. He is not a flat character. That is the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment for me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.